I was just thinking about how we go about our program design, and I wanted to just explain to you guys how we think of our program design. And it's not just about putting workouts together and putting exercise together. There is a thought out process to it. So the first thing that we ask for is to know how many days a week can a client come into to our facility or train, regardless, right? Regardless if you feel sick or if you're tired or whatever, you've had a bad week at work, how many days are you going to commit to us? And that matters, right? Because training volume is going to be, because we're strength-based, training volume is going to be a huge factor when it comes to how much results we're going to get, right? When it comes to training volume, there are a few numbers that we kind of play with, right? Maintenance volume, which is how many sets a week do you need to hit a muscle to just maintain where you currently are, right? So if someone came into our facility and said, hey, I lost my butt. I don't have the butt that I used to have anymore, and I want to build it. And I asked them, hey, how many days a week are you actually training butt right now? And they say 0, then that's kind of understandable that they're starting to lose their butt because they're not doing the basic maintenance volume. The second one that you want to think of is your minimum effective volume. What's the minimum amount of volume that needs to happen for you to start to build, right? So there's maintenance volume for you to keep what you got, a minimum amount of volume for you to start to build, and then a maximum adaptive volume. What's the maximum amount of volume that needs to be done to that muscle for you to be able to build, right? Past that, there is a maximum recovery volume, right? And these numbers are weekly, right? When it comes to maximum recovery volume, is what's the maximum amount of volume that you can hit to that muscle per week before you can't recover effectively enough, right? A lot of times I tell people just doing work is not necessarily a great thing, right? Because you can start to do what's called junk volume. Junk volume is just volume that doesn't do anything, right? I know sometimes you guys may feel this. You're in the gym, you've done your 8th exercise in chest, and the 9th exercise that you want to do, it's just not good. But you're like, I said I was going to do this work and I'm just doing it, right? That's junk volume. The set's not good, it's not intense, but you're just doing the volume. That's junk. We don't want that, right? When you start to get to junk volume, you know that you've gone above the maximum recovery volume, right? And then based on all of those numbers, what muscle groups you're trying to train? What are you trying to bring up? How many days a week you're going to try to work out? Then we can go in and say, all right, based on these factors that you've given to us, here's the frequency that we're going to hit this muscle group at. If you said, hey, I really want to sit down and I really want to build out my glutes, then we're going to say, all right, we need to be able to train the maximum recovery volume or the maximum adaptive volume for glutes is 4 to 12 sets. Now, if we did 4 to 12 sets, working sets in one day of a 2-day program, then you're only going to have one day to do everything else in the rest of your body, right? Versus if we said, all right, we're going to do 3 days a week and I want to get those 12 sets, those 12 working sets over the next 3 days, then we can do 4 sets of glutes per day that you come in. And so when we build out the program for that, each day is going to have 4 working sets of your 3 days. And then you also want to make sure that you start to look at how many reps do you want to do, because each muscle group is going to respond better to certain rep ranges, right? One thing I want to say when it comes to program design, because I get this all the time, people will come in and they'll say, hey, I want to work abs. Well, there is no, the maintenance volume for abs is 0 working sets per week. 0 working sets per week. That's for the maintenance amount of abs that you should be doing. But you guys want to focus on when trying to get much more well-defined abs, it's working on your diet. And I know I say that all the time, and I know it's going to fall on deaf ears to some people, and some people are going to get it and understand that abs aren't made in the gym doing 50,000 sit-ups. Abs are actually, the rep range for abs are actually 8 to 20. When you start doing 30, 40, 50 reps on abs, that's what I talk about. Also junk volume, doing volume that will not help the muscle do what you're actually trying to have it do, which is to grow and to be strong and to be dense, right? So when we're talking about volume and how we program for our clients, that's what we kind of go off of. What I'll do is, I'm sure it's up here somewhere, is I'm going to throw a chart up that's kind of just shows you, hey, here's some volumes that you need to be playing with when you're talking about your muscle groups, and how do you break that out now for the week to make sure that you are in a program that's sound and a program that's going to get you the results that you want. But the thing that you really want to focus on is, if you are just trying to maintain, there is a certain amount of volume that you need to do every week to make sure you're just maintaining. Taking weeks off, months off at a time because you just don't feel like it, or you need a break, that is a recipe to lose muscle. Your body's going to want to shed anything that is going to be chewing up a ton of calories, and muscles do that. You have to do your job to at least maintain the muscle that you have. And if you're trying to build, there is a minimum effective volume of training that you need to do to make sure that you can build. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go to the high end, but you need to do at least the low end to be able to build new muscle. Coach Dwayne here. Don't tell nobody what you're going to do. Your actions, they're going to show true. Let's get ready to train, y'all.